Hey, good morning, my Vetway family. Good Monday morning. We got a full week ahead of us, and the Ram is giving us a few issues. Over the weekend, I was hauling my enclosed trailer, and I got a message that came up in the message center on the dash of my truck saying that my exhaust system needs service and to see dealership. Initially didn't know what was going on with it. Did a little bit of research, and possibly my DEF injector could be potentially clogged up with the crystallization from the DEF fluid. So what I'm going to be doing this morning is going under my truck, removing my DEF injector and cleaning it, and hopefully it'll get that error message to go away. I want to start it up and see if it comes up now, but it's so close to the exhaust under there, I don't want the exhaust to be warm and possibly burn myself in the process of taking it off. So it's the message is intermittent. It'll come up and it'll stay for a few seconds and it'll go away. So it's not showing up now, but it just keeps coming on and going off, and it's coming on more and more, and I don't want to get stranded anywhere. So before we get this week started, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this problem, and hopefully we'll be on our way. So the tools you'll need to do this job is gonna be a 10 millimeter socket and ratchet, and or 10 millimeter wrench. So I'll get under here, show y'all where this thing is and how to take it off. All right, so we are under the truck, and here is the DEF injector, and it's under the passenger side of the vehicle. This is it right here. This is one of the 10 millimeter bolts. The other is just on this other side. And here is the electrical connection for the DEF injector. Now what I'm gonna have to do is remove this sleeve. Let's get this sleeve off, get it out of the way. I'll be sure to replace that because that is it's like a coating that helps protect against the heat since it's so close to all the exhaust components. And this clip has to come out. So there is you can't see it. All right, so I had to get me a screwdriver to get to this other side of the DEF injector to get that tab popped up. There we go. All right, so get the tab up. Should be able to go in here, push, and just like that. So here's the red tab, and you just push in right under the red tab to release that clip. All right, so I was able to get it off. This clip had to come out. So this clip inserts into here like so, and it was just down over this part. So what I had to do was take my screwdriver, push down on the hose and pop that clip out, and this was able to come straight off. So I pulled that off, set it to the side, and now what I'm going to do is, let's get this out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and take my socket or my ratchet and get these two 10 millimeter bolts off. All right, y'all, I've got both the 10 millimeter bolts off, and now this is what we have. This is the problem. See if we can get a focus here. You see how that white build up? That's from the DEF crystallizing. That's from the DEF crystallizing. This is supposed to be a solid, big open hole. Come on, let's get some focus. Yeah, that's supposed to be a big open hole. So let's get that cleaned out, and let's take a look at the DEF injector. And here's the DEF injector, and it's clogged up as well. So that's the reason for my message. Let's get this thing cleaned up. We're gonna soak it in some warm water, and we should be good to go from there. We got ourselves some warm water. We're gonna take this end of the depth injector and just kind of work it around in there. We're not gonna submerge it into the water because it does have electrical components on this part, and you don't want to take the risk of damaging them. It's already running clean, coming clean, I mean. We'll do that a couple of more times. Get us a nice clean dry rag and wipe it out. Yep, let's get us a rag and wipe it off. All right, here's another look before we start to clean this thing out. Definitely not supposed to look like that. I got a little pick that I'm going to use. Just start to break some of this stuff off. All right, y'all, I got that thing cleaned out as best as I could without just digging and scraping and doing all kind of crazy stuff. But it's definitely a lot better than it was. Not 100%, but that stuff is extremely crystallized inside of there, and it's really hard to get out. But it's not this big pile of crystallized DEF fluid as it was before. So I got the depth injector clean, 100%, and I'm gonna get it placed back on. See, it's clean, nothing's left inside of it. So we'll pop it back on like so. All right, we've got both 10mm bolts tightened. Now we're gonna go ahead, let's put this back on first. That's on, and then I'll put the clip back inside of it. There we go, like so. And for her to click, and then you push the safety lock back down. And then I put my sleeve back on it that I took off. This goes back on like so. Just like that, we are done. So we'll get her fired up and see if the message comes back. All right, y'all, we got the job done. It took us about an hour to do that. And I'm going to be using the Blue Def Platinum in the future. And what the Blue Def Platinum has is deposit prevention. And hopefully that'll help prevent that stuff from clogging up again that fast, if at all. The def that I've been using lately has been the Walmart brand def because it's cheaper. It runs about 11 or 12 bucks for 2.5 gallons. And the Blue Def runs anywhere from $20 to $30 for 2.5 gallons. So you're talking about double, almost triple the price. But the reason I was using that is the cheaper def is because it still had that API rating on it. This little certification right here, let's see, we have that red stamp. They say as long as it has that API certification on it, that it meets the minimum requirements. But meeting the minimum requirements doesn't mean that it's always the best option. So I'm going to up the ante and spend a little bit more on my DEF fluid to hopefully prevent that from happening, because aside from that, you know, those deposits not only deposit in the injector, but they also build up inside of the whole system. So I'm going to be using the Blue Platinum Def from here on out, and we'll see what it gets us. So I'm about to go ahead and get ready to load my trailer for today, and hopefully we have resolved that issue, and I'll see y'all in a little bit.